All right, so we're officially starting. Once again, welcome everyone.
Okay.
We're ready to go. The way that this is going to run is we're going to let our colleague MIlena Cuellar from the MEC department run the session. There is a chat button at the bottom of the screen. We invite you to, as we move along, to drop questions or comments, and my colleague Priscilla and I are going to be moderating that, and we will make sure that we address those questions by the end of the session, all right? I also wanted to let you know that we have another webinar immediately right after this one, so we want to make sure that we are on time, all right? So thank you, and back to you, MIlena.
Okay, so hello everybody. Thank you for coming. It's been a long day, so let's see how it goes for the rest of the day. I have two screens, so I'm going to turn off the video on this side and I'm going to share a presentation on the other one. So you're going to see when I share the presentation. We're going to go over many different tools today. So I tried to be brief with it. I have a lot of screens open, so I'm just going to start with this presentation in Prezi. Prezi is one of these tools that are web-based where you can actually create presentations online, and it's very dynamic. So I'm just going to load it up. And then you can see, you know, we've been all trying to figure out what to do. Hopefully we're going to learn a lot. We're going to learn a lot in the next 2 weeks. But, you know, now what? It's like we just last week, we were all like, now what? Distance online learning, what we should do. So this is the definition that you can find. There are many different ways. They're not using online learning, as you know, it's distance learning to accommodate different styles. So we can do mail, if you need to, email only, and do a lot of online learning. Online can be very complex and very different ways you can achieve that, from being synchronous or not being synchronous, asynchronous ways. But it's all about how you feel comfortable and how you can serve your students better in the situation we are now. So this is an image that a colleague of mine from BCC sent me. So, you know, the beginning of the semester starts a beautiful draft of a horse, and then suddenly maybe remote teaching, then maybe we do the remote teaching plan, and then this is what ends up happening. So hopefully it's not going to be this crude, but this is how I felt and I've been feeling for the past few days. Also, another, I'm just going to share this, let's see if I can do it, this video. So let me see if you can hear it. Can you hear it?
We don't have any audio. If you could raise the volume maybe there.
Let me see.
We can see it, but we cannot hear the audio yet.
Don't hear it. Okay, so I'll share with you the...
I think we're here a little bit, yes?
Yes, little bit.
Yep.
Except we're getting the feedback also.
Because of the other device, correct, yeah.
Now it's good. MIlena, I think when you're showing this, you have to turn off your own audio.
Okay. So I leave it there and I'll share the presentation so you can watch it later. But it's a fun,
funny. It's great.
Video,
yeah,
from a colleague somewhere in the US. So we're not alone. So we are all trying to figure it out, and hopefully as a community we'll be able to actually get somewhere where we feel comfortable about it. So we'll be discussing, can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, we can.
Asynchronous ways of trying to post content for our students. Especially I'm going to talk about tools for people who don't have a tablet or a touch screen. In math, that is the department that I am teaching math, is important to be able to demonstrate how to solve exercises, how to graph things, how to do stuff. So I'm going to concentrate on that. Then synchronous ways, and then I go over quickly of several apps, web-based or just software you download for whiteboard applications, and then at the end it didn't save, alternative LMS. So we're going to see that. So for our online improvisation, if we don't have a tablet or Sketchpad, it's okay. We can do things. One of the main and useful, easy to use tools is called Screencast-o-matic. Screencast-o-matic is a video creation that is very straightforward and is free. I'll show you the page. So I'm going to escape now, and I just went to the Screencast-o-matic. Sorry, the Screencast-o-matic page. And if you want to record anything, so I'm going to do a quick demonstration. Just click here, start recording, and you're going to, the first time you do it, you're going to download the recorder. And when I launch that, what it does, it just opens up a little frame. And it's going to take a little bit. It's going to open up a frame. And that frame that is here is going to mark the area in the screen that you're going to be recording. So it's not just like a screenshot, but it's like a video screenshot. Now, the only thing you need to do is just click on the top here, record. So I do that. 1, 2, 0, go. And everything I'm doing and everything that I'm doing with my pointer is going to get recorded, and I can go to a different page, so I can get out of this and then move here to this background. It's just the Zoom is in here, so I can go to my email, save something there. Maybe I can come back to this other page, and then I get tired and I'm finished doing whatever I want to explain. It's very useful to create instructions for students or to just demonstrate things, or if you have a handout, you can just open up the handout and be able to do it. Once you're done, you just click on rec and you look at and go here on the side to do done, so you can save it or you can play what you just recorded. So when you do that, you're going to see, you don't hear my voice because I have this computer muted, but it's just repeating what I did. Right, so I'm not going to put it in, but it's going to be saved in the Zoom. And it's just repeating what we just did in that little piece of the screen. So that's it. You can edit it, or you can just leave it as it is. And it takes only as long as you, and you know, it's the same time it takes to do as the time you're doing the video itself. Or what you're trying to.
Can I ask a quick question, MIlena? It's Priscilla here. Yeah. So a lot of faculty have been asking on these webinars about whiteboard tools, and it would be easy to use Screencast-o-matic in conjunction with a whiteboard tool, right?
Yes, you can do that. So if you have a tablet, you can screencast your whiteboard app while you're writing. But I'll talk about another app where you can just record that at the same time.
Fantastic.
Screencast-o-matic, yeah.
Thank you.
Now,
yeah, I have a question. Hi, my name is Soheda. I have a question. Can I, have the voice, or just only I can share the screen?
No, you have the voice, and everything that I was doing in the screen is going to be recorded.
Okay. Okay. Good. Thanks.
And I also use this for the students to actually give me, like, create an assignment that where they have to create a screencast of whatever they're doing, like walk me through a diagram they draw, or show me and explain something that they have created. It's very, and for them it's just 2 seconds. They'll be very easy for them, and then it's very easy to explain. Once you're done, you can save that file. So you see the file is here, and if I play it, you're going to see that it's just the piece of the window that I was working on before. Nothing outside the window. I can, move around. I can maybe cut the end, and do basic editing. I can maybe add captions. So it's going to, say in captions whatever I was going, I was saying at the moment. And you can save it in 3 different ways. You can save it as a video file, which is going to be downloaded in your own device. You can upload it to Screencast-o-matic, but if you're using no account, you're not registered anywhere, you don't need to use this because it's completely free just without registering. Or if you have a YouTube channel, you can just upload that file, that video to the YouTube channel. So I'm going to just save it. I can click and change the name, right? And I publish, and it's done. And I can use that file either to post in Blackboard, to post in Canvas, whatever place you have actually to work on it. So you see, these are now they're trying to get you to register, but there is no need. There is no need to pay because it's just the basic capabilities that we're going to be working on. So any questions about Screencast-o-matic?
Yes, I have one, sorry, interrupt you. I have a question. Is there any linear limitation for the time? I mean, how many times you can? Is there, for example, 30 minutes? How many slides? Is there any limitation? No?
No, nothing.
Okay, good.
It's just really useful and very easy to use and very flexible.
Okay, good, great, thanks.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, let me see the chat.
My question was whether the creation of captions is available in the free version.
That's a good question. I have not tried the captions, but I don't think they charge for the captions because for example, I haven't used it, and the reason I haven't used it is because when I upload my YouTube videos, I just use the automatic captions that are in YouTube when you play a video in YouTube.
So but that's YouTube generating them.
Yeah, no Screencast-o-matic. So I haven't tried that option.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Okay, so let's continue. So that's one tool. Let's go. So these are 2 DIY tools. So you can use your phone to actually create a, thing to just project documents. So as you can see here is, there is a video, a YouTube video that is in the presentation. So when you have the presentation, you will be able to watch it. I don't want to put it here. And this guy is just putting together something so he can attach the phone and record what he's doing on a piece of paper. If you're doing that with a video call, the student or the students are going to be able to see you doing that on the paper. So it's like a camera, a document camera. I've seen it working and it's very easy. So it's just out of your own creativity, how to put it together. So you have your phone high up to be able to project what you're doing at the bottom.
Oh, wow, great.
Right, so this is the video there.
Oh,
There is another way of doing that. If you don't have if you want to use your webcam, you can attach it to a lamp. We all have these kind of like a studio lamps, and then make sure to do exactly the same. So you have your camera up here, and then you have your document, and you can just start writing on it and create videos with it. So it's like a low-cost DIY solution if you don't have a tablet and you want to demonstrate something real time, or with an animation or with a video. Any questions with that?
No.
oh.
Okay. So this is the video. So I'll share this presentation so you will be able to see that. Now, what we've been using all the time now is the video conferencing, and those video conferencing software or platforms they have different capabilities and different features. So we know all the CUNY official tools, right? WebEx and Blackboard Collaborate. And those 2 are available in Blackboard. Outside Blackboard, you can create a WebEx account and then use WebEx outside Blackboard to just call meetings, just using your CUNY First credentials. So you have, either you can use it inside Blackboard for your course, or you can have it outside to create, like Zoom, right? Like call out a meeting using WebEx. And there are no limitations because this is a license that is given out to all CUNY staff and faculty. Another tool that is official for conferencing is Microsoft Teams, and it contains a whiteboard app, ability to call meetings in, create groups, etc. And these tools are available via MyLaGuardia. So if you don't know what it is, you can always go, let me just show you where it is. You go to LaGuardia website, MyLaGuardia, faculty and staff. And then over here, Microsoft Office 365. I think it's here, yeah. I don't usually use it.
It's on the, it's a little to the top on the left, log into Office 365.
All right, yes, I see it here.
Yes.
Over here. Thank you, Pablo.
You have to log in with your CUNY First login.
Yep.
Right, so you'll see it all. I'm the 99, and then you just log in and create and use any of all the tools that are there.
Can everyone hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
I have two logins for Microsoft. One is the LaGuardia, which I usually use, and the other is the CUNY. And so I get access to two OneDrives. And I noticed that people are using the CUNY-wide login, whereas I'm using the LaGuardia login.
I can say something about that, Charles.
Yeah.
That's in the CUNY-wide, you have access to more of these apps.
Okay.
There's a bit of a weird disconnect because students have access to a different set of tools. So you won't automatically see them in these tools like you would in Blackboard with your roster.
Right.
But as I understand it, it's now possible to add your students to your CUNY First classes, like if you're running a class on Teams or something like that, and it didn't used to be. So we'll find out more about that and get that information out to everybody soon, because this is actually a really good set of tools.
Yes.
And I'm not usually a big Microsoft advocate, but there's a lot of good stuff in here.
Well, I noticed they have the classroom notebook, which seems to be little used.
Yeah, good question. Thank you.
All right, thank you. So the CUNY-wide login is better.
It will give you access to more tools, yes.
Right, okay, thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No, it's good. I didn't even know that, so I'm learning too. So I personally don't use it, but I know people in our department that they have tried it and they're trying to use it as like a collaboration tool among faculty. There is another question? Is there another question?
Yes, I know. Would you go back to the previous screen? I mean, when you go to the Microsoft, which tool we are going to use it?
I'm not using any of those. I'm just mentioning it like so you know, you're aware that they are available.
Okay,
So
great, thanks.
I'm using Zoom.
Oh, okay, yes, me too, yes.
So, Milena.
Yes. Hi, Mangala.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah. I just have a quick question. If you go to that Office 365 one more time to just, I can ask you one little question if you can answer that.
I can see it.
It says, I think there is OneNote also.
Yeah, OneNote. OneNote, I'm going to be talking about it later because it has a whiteboard capability.
Right. So that's what I was interested in to know. How will you use that? Yeah.
Yeah, but I'll talk about it later. So this is just in general, I was just talking about Teams, which has a conferencing capability that you'll be able to use if you like to use that instead of WebEx, Zoom, or Blackboard Collaborate.
No, I see.
Yeah. And, you know, and it depends how comfortable you are when you try it for the first time. I'm keeping up with Zoom because I find it more flexible. So that's why I use Zoom. Easy sharing is a great whiteboard. Yeah. So I'm going to see if I can switch the screen now, and I'm going to be using the whiteboard in Zoom. So in Zoom, when I go to share content, I can go the whiteboard there. And if you have a pen, then you can just start writing. So for example, X is equal to M. No, sorry, this is wrong. So it's going to be y equals mx plus b.
Okay.
So it's very clear. It is quick. Doesn't show any lag when you're writing. You can demonstrate, you know, how to draw it out. Like you can do anything as you do it in a whiteboard. There is no lag when you're doing this within a conference. And I find that useful. You can change colors. You can erase pieces of what you've been writing. This is not just useful for math, but it can be useful for natural sciences, you know, linguistics, many other, like almost any field if you need to write and explain something handwritten. I'm going to stop sharing my screen now.
How are you writing on that device, MIlena? Are you using a...
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm typing that question here.
So I'm using this pen. So I'm using an iPad.
But it's on an iPad.
Yeah, and I'm using a pen, an Apple pen.
If
you don't have, yes?
If we're in a PC and I open up the whiteboard, is there a way to write with a pen on my PC? Or
if you have a touch screen PC, you can just touch the screen with a pen, or there is a Sketchpad that is available that for only about $40 or less, where you can just connect it via USB.
Oh, that's great to know.
Yeah.
Because I know there are also the drawing tablets where you get a stylus and the tablet, but this might be cheaper.
Right, it's cheap. It's like $40 in Amazon.
What's it called, MIlena? I'm going to put it in the chat.
Sketchpad.
Sketchpad.
Yeah.
Great.
And if you don't want to buy anything, you can do a DIY document camera, right? Like
I'm sorry.
You can't mark. Oh well, it'll mark in real life, in physical life.
Yeah, physical life. So you can do a video call where you have, like, if I turn around my iPad here, I can show whatever is below, right? And I can just start writing. I just need to find a way to hold it still facing down.
Basically making your own camera stand.
Yeah, and is something that is low cost. And maybe we don't know if Amazon is going to continue be delivering things, right? We don't know what's going to happen to us. Okay, so I'm going to switch back to the other device.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I mean, what's the name of, you know, that pen? Is it the Sketchpad?
Sketchpad.
Sketch. Okay, I got it.
It's in the chat. I just typed it in there too. Leopold has been trying to ask a question for a long time.
Okay.
Sketchpad tool? Is that
it's a Sketchpad, yeah.
Okay.
Is that the name of the company? I guess.
I'll look for a link right now.
Okay.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Sure, no problem.
I think Leopold
is trying to ask a question. He's being so
Yes, Leo, tell me.
When we're using the board, the whiteboard, and then we can write on it. So as a student following and listening, is it possible that they can also write as well for us to see, and we can correct what they do as well?
Yeah, it is possible if they have a device to be able to write.
And then we can see what they write and fix and show the mistake and explain a little bit more as well.
Yeah, yeah. So what I'm doing, I did that. I had class today with my math, one of my math classes. And what I did with them is, I know I will not ask them to do that because I know that not everybody will have a device and the technology to be able to write down on an iPad or tablet or a Sketchpad. So I had them create. So I give them an exercise and I say, okay, you have to create a video explaining this exercise. Either you write it while you're writing, or you write it and then you explain to me with your voice what you're doing.
Okay, great. What I'm asking is a little bit simpler. While we're doing the video chat with them using Zoom, can they write as well on it without any other device being bought? From their computer, will they be able to do that?
No, so if you're doing the whiteboard, you're the only one writing, and if they want to write, they want to share, they should share their whiteboard on their own device.
Oh, so in other words, let's say that I have a presentation and then I have one slide that has a problem worked out by me prepared.
Yeah.
So can they annotate on it or something? Can they show the
I'm going to present another software that does that later.
Ah, okay. Not on Zoom.
Yeah, like it's a whiteboard collaboration.
Oh, okay.
And I'll show you later. Yeah.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay, so these are the conferences, like conference software and platforms that we can use, and those are kind of like real time. Now going again to whiteboards, and this is the case where we need a device, right? So for notes, I've used these three. Notability, which is available for Mac devices. It creates audio too, if you want to synchronize while you're writing in a video with your voice. The issue is that the student needs to also have a Mac device and the app. So I don't recommend. But just for notes is great. The other one is PDF Expert, and I'll show some examples in a sec. And finally, Microsoft Office again, where you can use the whiteboard capabilities in most of these apps. You can do it in Word, you can do it in PowerPoint, etc. So before I go to Notability and PDF Expert, which one is the cheapest? Maybe Office, because Office we get it from the school, from our credentials working there. But if you go to Word, I was just like I'm in the computer now, I'm not in the iPad. So I can just write with my finger, but it's just very cumbersome, right? You see, I cannot even write my name, but I can write. But if you have an iPad, you will be able to open up either anything you want in Word, PowerPoint, and OneNote, okay?
Are we able to see what you're doing?
Yes, let me just change that in a minute. So I'm going to show you Notability. So Notability, for this I need, let me just put here video. So for this I need a pen, right? So everybody's seeing that it says Note March 19, so I can just write. And it's very clear. I can change colors, I can do highlights, I can, you know, the thickness, etc. I can do many things. I can move things around. I can cut pieces, I can input text if I need to. And if you see here on the top, it has a microphone. So if I touch that, it's recording everything that I'm saying and everything that I'm writing. So if I save this note, right, I stop here and I save it. Then this note, I will be able to actually share with my students, right? I can share it as a PDF or I can share it inside Notability. And when I do that, I will be able to, they will be able to hear me as I was writing, like in a video, okay? The only issue with it is that then you'll require the students to have Notability and have the iPad or a Mac device. So this is the one that I was mentioning before, Priscilla, and from other people who might have the question. So that's Notability. I'm going to open up now PDF Expert. And PDF Expert is just is a program that allows you to write on an existing document by hand or with text, or a blank document. So I have many examples here because I use it a lot. So for example, I created this grading of my student of a paper that he submitted. Like this is from last semester. So I did the grading with the iPad of the scanned copy of the document he sent me, right? I also can use it to write solutions and send them back to them. Right, so here I have these questions and then I can send the solutions to them just written by hand. So I'm just editing a PDF file that was there. So I can just write on it and I can highlight, I can do many things. It's very easy to use. In addition to that, I can just use a white, like a completely blank document and create a picture or create writing is fine. So this is very flexible to use. So I can just say, create a PDF, and I even can choose my grid, and I can just start writing as before. This is the only word that is coming to my mind when I need to write. So I'd say, hello, my name is MIlena, right? I usually write better, but I'm just holding up the iPad because it's just very easy to be very precise when you write.
It's so great. It has a graph paper background.
Yeah, and then you can have also different grid papers. Not just the, yeah, it's nice. And then you can just create a nice PDF, send it back and forth, etc. So these are kind of like the static. I'm going to stop here and maybe I'm going to look at the questions. So these are let me just close because I don't want to see myself twice. The basic noting apps or software that you can download. Those are going to be creating PDFs. The Notability might be able to create an additional synchronization with audio, but I don't recommend it because it's expensive. You need to pay for it, and then the students need to have the same software to be able to look at it and hear it, so it's not really useful in that sense. Going back to the presentation. Oh, no, I don't want to leave. Hold on. Microsoft Office, it works very similar. You just need to select the option draw, and then you're going to be able to work with your pen. Now, the Pencast is a different tool. So let me see if I can show you that. So let me just, I'll show you the device. I've been using this for years now. And what it is, it's like, I don't know what to do. Is this pen. You see me, is this pen. And the pen it has a little camera at the bottom. And then you just write in this special paper that if you don't have the paper, you can print it on your own. And you can create a PDF that can be played in a free software that can be downloaded. And what it does, it just synchronizes your writing with the audio. So it can be used for you to write down solutions and explain what you're writing, or can be helpful for you to record notes or lectures, and then it just records the background noise.
MIlena, I think we're not seeing your screen anymore. We're just seeing.
Did you see me?
No, we're not seeing your screen. It just says MIlena 2C2.
It's like I have another. If you click the grid view, you'll see me.
Sorry, click where?
If you go at the top,
yeah,
so grid, and then there, because I have two different logins. So this is the pen that I was mentioning.
Okay.
And then I have been using this for a while, and it just records everything. You just download it, and and you use this software called LiveScribe. So it's more kind of like elaborated, but it works very well, and it's not so expensive. It ranges from $80 to $300 depending on the different models, but it's really, really useful, not just for your lecturing, but also if you have a need to remember things. For example, people with disabilities, they can take this and record lectures too, and they'll be able to play it back while they're writing their notes. So it's pretty useful. Okay, so going back to the screen, to the presentation. Do you see that everybody sees the presentation or not?
No.
I'm not seeing the presentation as of now.
Oh, there it is.
Now I see it. Yeah.
Okay.
And I think, MIlena, I think Alcira had a question. She raised her hand. Alcira, if you have a question, feel free to jot it down on the chat, and then we'll make sure that we address it.
Yeah, yeah. I'm just not looking at. Yes. What's your question, Alcira?
Yes, I'm sorry,
Oh,
but
there you go.
I didn't see you showing the device. Somehow
Okay.
the camera went black. So I don't know if if you could at least show again the device. Thank you.
You have to suffer my face into different. Like you see, I have two different users.
Screens, yeah.
Yes, I understand.
Right. So if you want to see me, just choose the grid view, so you see everybody's face. And I don't know how to make it bigger, but this is the device. It's just a pen. It's like a pen. It's just
okay.
It's a thick pen.
Oh, finally, I can see
and then it has like a little camera inside.
Yes, thank you so much. Now I can see it. Thank you.
Okay, and it's just that it's called
LiveScribe, right?
LiveScribe. Thank you.
And it's we put it. Priscilla put it on the chat.
Thank you, Priscilla.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, so let me go back to the presentation, and these are like different technologies to take notes. So going back to Leo's question, sorry about the train.
That was kind of cool.
So he wanted to know about collaborating in a whiteboard. So this is, you can do with something called explain everything. So I'm going to go, it's something that you can use to teach, to present, to sketch things, create videos, work together. It can be completed online, on a mobile phone, on a computer, on a pad, whatever it is. It's very, very versatile. So what I'm going to be doing now is show you a whiteboard that I have. So I'm going to open up my page, if I find it. Sorry. Chrome. So explain everything. So this I created today for my everybody sees the screen now?
No.
We can see the screen, we can see you. We don't see any other screen.
Okay, sorry. Here.
Oh, now we can see something. There you go.
Yes. It's web-based. If you have, it works better on a tablet, but you can also work on a computer. So I have created this, as you can see on the right. I have two Cuellar, so two of me, just to show how you can collaborate. And I'm going to open it up here in the iPad. So somehow I can, at the bottom, everything you do can be recorded. Okay, so if I click record, it's going to be recording my voice and what I do. But I'm just going to take it out because of the echo, okay? I can so for example, I was explaining my students how to deal with the syllabus, the adjustments we made, right? And the resources we're going to be using for the class. And I also can write here. I can write anything that I need, whatever I need, right? And at the same time, in my computer, now I'm going to be typing something else, right? So if I share these with students, the students will be able to either type, write on it, add anything, devices, plots, any kind of artifact. So they can attach a file, the picture, clip art, audio. I can create more slides. So for example, here, let me just stop it for a minute. And then once you have recorded that, you can actually see what happened in the recording. And you have two different tracks, one for what you're doing on the screen and one for the sounds. And these can be worked at the same time, even if I have two slides. So I'm going to add another slide. Let's say I want to add a green chalkboard. So I added in my iPad, you see, and then I can go to the next, and it's going to be a whiteboard. And someone can be working in one slide, and someone else can be working on the first slide. And then again, you can just write things on it. If you have, I'm just using here my finger with the touchpad, but you can also use mouse or a pen, whatever you need. You can type things on. Or I can just be working. I'm going to be writing something with the iPad on the other slide, and then I go back to it from my computer, and then I see it there, right? I wrote that thing on top of the other. It's very easy to use. You can get a free account. It just gives you the chance to have a big space to just work with your students. The advantage of it is that that you're recording everything you're doing at the same time too. So you're documenting the whole process. So for a collaborative poster, or for what Leo was saying, if you put an exercise and you want the students to be able to answer, they can do that in real time if they have the technology to do that. So that's what it is, explain everything. It very quickly, because I know we only have 15 minutes left. Any questions about this?
No.
I have a question. I'm sorry, I have a question. I mean, is it, you're using the iPad, right? When you write it down.
To write down, I was using the iPad, but then on the other second slide, I was just using my finger on the
PC?
On the PC, yeah.
Oh, okay,
like,
okay.
I'm writing, this is with my finger. And it's very sensitive, so it's easier than others one. I'm even writing in cursive with my finger without having a pen. Right? So it's very sensitive and it's very responsive.
Yeah, I have one more question. Is it, that, the whiteboard is part of the Office 365, or is?
Yeah, Whiteboard is available, but then only one person can work on it at a time.
Okay.
Sometimes, right? And maybe in Microsoft Teams, you can have some collaboration, but in here, more than one person can be working on it. So for example, if I invite, let's say, Priscilla, is this your email, Priscilla?
Yes, at LAGCC.
Okay.
Yes.
I recognize it. Mm-hmm.
So I send it in, and she's going to be able, if she logins to explain everything, she'll be able to write at the same time as me or later on this whiteboard.
Okay.
That's very cool.
It's really cool. And then you can record everything you want. Everything that is happening here can be recorded.
So do our student also need to have an account for this?
They don't need to pay anything because they're invited to work on this whiteboard and you're the explainer.
Mm-hmm.
So the one who is the one creating the whiteboard should have the account.
Okay.
And you can invite as many as you want?
Yeah.
Does it have like a grid to share, like to graph?
Yeah. So for example, I can create a new slide, right? Let me just do it here because it only works on the iPad. So if I create a new slide, it's going to give me the chance. So let me just share my screen in the iPad so you see it, okay? Let me just go back to the Zoom. And at the same time, I'm sharing everything that I'm doing. So it's kind of like really, you could, whatever you do in your device, you can share it with your students while you're having that session live. So now you're seeing I'm working on my iPad. I'm going to create a new slide. Let me just go back to it. And then I can change, let's say, the background. So I can do dots. I can have a grid. I can have vertical lines. I can have horizontal lines. I can have like a texture. I can have a color background if I want to. So it'll be like a nice paper. And it's pretty, it's straightforward. I can do that with any of the slides. So you can organize your work in different slides. You can add, you know, a recording, what you're doing it, etc. So it's pretty versatile.
Someone asked a question on the chat if the links will be available. We are going to upload this video to YouTube, and we can certainly include all the links that MIlena can share in the description of the video. So we will make sure that we do that. I wanted to make sure that I think Lee raised his hand. Lee, if you have a question, you can unmute yourself and share.
Hi, MIlena. I just wanted to check if you recommended using the Explain Everything in the middle of a Zoom webcast, or is it something that, is it something quick enough so that if I say, hey, does somebody want to come to the board and answer this problem, I can quickly invite them and they can get in there? Or is it something that needs to be set up separately ahead of time?
Yeah, this, you know, what I did today was I set up something ahead, right? So what I did today is I created my basic work here to work on it before I started work, before I started the class. If you like, you can put up notes or an exercise to start with and have them contribute with a whiteboard or have like a template there. I have not tried it inviting different students at different moments. I have to try that, but it worked pretty well today, but just using it for me to present live data like I was in a board.
Okay, so the idea is you could set up a couple of math problems in advance, then you go into the whiteboard, it's already set up, and you show them how to solve it.
And then if you can join, I haven't tried it, but what you're saying I think is very possible. You can just have someone, like if you have it there and then I'm the other person here, I can just start writing the solution and you'll be able to see it and everybody else in the classroom too.
Great, thanks, that's very helpful.
Yeah. Any other questions?
Well, we will post this webinar and all of the resources that MIlena shared with us online, so you can access them later. And I just want to say thank you everyone for coming, and thank you so much, MIlena, for doing this session, especially given everything that's going on and that you're doing and that everyone is dealing with. But it's really valuable to learn about these tools.
In the presentation, there are a couple more tools, but I don't know what happened with the presentation. It went blank.
Okay. Oh, wait, there it is.
There it is, yeah. So let me see. So the only one that I want to mention before leaving is there are a couple of alternatives to Blackboard that are useful, that I actually use quite a lot. So these are learning management systems. I use Piazza. as a learning management system is very interactive, and it has, so I have my class here, for example, that we had today, and everything is organized by date. So I post the students' work, let's say, for example, I have them complete a quiz today. So the quiz was like, complete these exercises and please post your answers as a private note to me. So they posted the exercises at the end of the session to make sure that I was able to count their attendance. I can easily grade things, that everything is in the same place. I can post my syllabus. For math classes, you have easy typing in math. So for example, you can easily write formulas using LaTeX, which most people know when you're doing math. And one of the things that I really like is that as a student, they can create posts anonymous, either to the whole class, anonymous only to the class and not to the instructor, or just private notes to everybody, to each other, to the instructor, to friends. You can create groups. It's very interactive, and it's free. That's one of the tools. And then finally, before we leave, I know questions. Are there any questions about Piazza?
Yeah, I have a question actually. I want to know. I mean, is it because I need to give the pre-lab quizzes to my students. So do you think, I mean, it's going to be a good, tool for the quiz?
Usually I use it for everything, not just the quiz, but I post everything there because, I'm not using with them anything that has to do with Blackboard or anything. This is my management system. I send them emails through this site. They send me messages through this site. I post every day what I need to be doing with them. Everything is organized by different topics here. I post up my Zoom details when I'm going to be starting the class. So it can be used for everything. It's very versatile too. And it's very easy to use. And it's free, another point. But finally, before we leave, I just want to mention this other site, which is called, I'm sorry, I'm just tired, so I'm getting very slow. Then where is the presentation? Here. So the last one is called Flipgrid. And Flipgrid is a learning management system that is actually video based. So you can create a course and the students can reply with you with a video. And only replies on video are the ones that are accepted. It's kind of like a nice way to interact with them. For example, with the first year seminar students, or in places where you want them to be expressing their ideas in more creative ways. So, you can look at it, and if you have questions, just let me know. I'm just going to finish the presentation now, so we have some time for a few questions.
I have a question. Do you have any experience with using, they use those questionnaire, for the survey that okay.
She is great with these.
Okay.
Yeah, Kahoot is really nice. It's very easy to use, and the students get very excited with it.
Okay.
And if I can add it in the presentation if you want to know about it.
Yeah, please, if you post, I really appreciate. Thank you.
Sure. Yeah, no problem.
Hi, sorry, I have a question. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, hi. So I wanted to find out from you what you think the benefits are of using Piazza over Blackboard. I guess I'm trying to get an understanding of which system I should choose, and I want to stick to one.
Yeah.
So what you think are really the reasons to go with Piazza over Blackboard?
Yeah, for me, the main reason is that it's very friendly. It's very friendly. It fosters collaboration. It creates an environment for the students to feel safe to ask any questions, not just attached to a discussion board or an assignment. They have the option to communicate across students with the students and with me privately. If they don't feel comfortable of writing a question, they can just post it anonymously. And I've been using it for years, and nobody has been using this in a bad way. They always use it to ask questions they're embarrassed about, and they feel that it's a silly question, but actually a question that everybody has. Also, I use it to create groups. They can collaborate easily there. In Blackboard, I find that it's very kind of like in little boxes, everything. So you have to do many clicks to access the student posts. In Piazza, you just have it all organized by dates and by folders. So you can access and search things very easily.
Great, thank you so much.
Leo?
He had to go. And actually, I'm very sorry, but we have to go a couple minutes early because we have another webinar on this channel. Oh, Leo, I'm sorry, you are still there. My apologies.
That's okay. I just wanted, I understand, MIlena, what you said about Blackboard. Is for somebody who have never used the Piazza, is it a little bit user-friendly? Because I'm thinking of using it for the same reason using it, even though I've never heard of it. Do you think I can go to it, or I might need some pointers from you?
So it will be easier to just learn how to use it in the first session compared to Blackboard.
Okay.
So,
All right.
and if you need help, I'm happy to help, but I know you're going to get it. It's just very straightforward, yeah.
Thank you for your belief in me. I appreciate it.
Oh, as always.
And MIlena,
what is the website names? What is the names of this program?
Piazza.com.
Yeah.
Please
Piazza.com.
look in the chat and you will see the names of all the tools that, or most of the tools that MIlena's been mentioning, and a lot of links to them too.
And we're going to post all of this on the YouTube description of the video once we make this available after the session.
Where the LaGuardia website, or
there's going to be a link on the LaGuardia website that will take you to a YouTube channel with this video, and the description will have all of the links that MIlena has spoken about.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you, MIlena.
Be safe, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Be
you,
safe,
MIlena.
everyone.
Thank you.
It was a great session.
Happy
Thank you.
online teaching, distance teaching. Bye-bye.
Okay,
Bye.
bye-bye. Thank
Bye,
you.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Is anybody still connected?